Hello, Capricorn. We're going to do a fast reading about how to deal with family around the holidays. You may have a family member who is not that easy to navigate, or maybe a family member who becomes different around the holidays. Maybe they deal with you one way privately, maybe another way when you're in front of family. Maybe they're a little more supportive privately, and then in front of family, not so much. So I'm just going to try to give you a little advice today on how to maneuver around that, make your holiday a little bit easier. So we had a lot of cards come out. Let's see what they are. This may be parents, step-parents. So you may have two families coming together. Lots of families are like that now. Families that get along, families that are supportive, families that are trying to find balance, families that have found their balance. You may not feel like participating so much, but maybe they've really said to you, please come and do the holidays, and you are. It looks like there is a lovely mended dynamic in your family, but it looks like you may just not like everyone together, or maybe you just don't like the big gatherings. It may be that you have an affluent family, and that isn't a bad thing, but maybe it may just be a little overwhelming for you. They may have a tendency to, there may have been a painful moment in your past, such as a divorce, and maybe they are very much over it, maybe you are not. So maybe being around your family still is somewhat painful for you, and you just don't feel as close when you're with them. It looks as if when you are there, you just don't feel, you just may not feel a part of this new dynamic so much. You may just be remembering that hard time back here. And this, let's see if I can get this in here for you. This moment in your history with your family. And maybe they just don't like to talk about it so much anymore, so you just feel as if when these gatherings are going on, you may be sort of seeing the ghosts of your first family. So let's get you some advice about that, Capricorn. How can we help you move through that a little bit? It can be difficult if you are feeling a bit outnumbered in a situation, if you are feeling like everybody else is in a different headspace. Especially at a large gathering. And even though people might have good intentions for you, they really want you to see the value in this new incarnation of things. That might not be where you are. And you may not feel like you're having some space made for you during the holiday. Okay, we had a few jump out and let's see. So, these are cards that discuss talking to someone, an older person, someone closer to the top of the family about your discomfort or your pain. This reading looks as if it is for someone on the younger side. It certainly could be for anyone. But that is what it looks like. Sometimes older people in the family can be a little more objective. So if you have someone available to you who's a little bit older at the gathering, and you feel it's appropriate, you might discuss with them if it's an appropriate time, maybe after dinner, what you are thinking or feeling. There can be a feeling in families at times where there is sort of the death of the identity of children, where there is a sort of coming of age moment, but adults will still address you as if you are a child. It can be a good time when people are feeling softer, sometimes around the holidays, to sort of let them know at some point that you are not that child anymore. And that you maybe this moment in your family created a coming of age moment for you. Things can be painful sometimes, but they can also force maturity. But if you're not communicating that you've had that moment, it can be nice too, because sometimes older people in the family will start addressing you in a way that is more appropriate for where you are. Yeah, they will start giving you a little bit more of what you need. Their conversation goes from something that sounds sort of childish um, to something that is more appropriate for you. So I would say, Capricorn, it doesn't you don't have to make an announcement. You don't have to jump up on the table. But certainly you could, pull someone aside. Maybe you have a favorite uh, grandparent or someone, and just say to them, I'm just not that child anymore, and I really, that moment still affects me, and I just don't feel so into these holidays. Maybe they won't either. Maybe they'll tell you they're not into it. You'd really be surprised with people what they hold in for the sake of being polite. We have here the tortoise, which is about staying protected, a hard shell. And it's in reverse. It's talking about sticking your neck out, and I think this is about the communication, sticking your neck out and discussing with somebody to talk about that shell that you've built around whatever this was. So, Capricorn, that is your advice. Discuss this issue. Again, it doesn't have to be a big announcement. Thank you so much, Capricorn. Thank you for sitting for a while. Have a good holiday. Bye bye.